Hello and welcome to the special edition of Mustang News. I'm Connor McCarthy. Over the past year, Jana Colombini has been the ASI President, and today I am joined here with Jana Colombini to look back on a year. Welcome, Jana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's just start off. What was your biggest accomplishment you felt like you did this year?
Oh my gosh, jumping right into it.
Yeah.
Biggest accomplishment, I would say, this is a little bit more general, but everything that I had promised back when I ran for ASI President during my campaign of Care, Communicate, and Connect, the 3 C's, everything that I had promised during that time or said that I would do, myself and my chief of staff and my cabinet did it. And I can look back and say that we made no false promises. We went forth and did as much as we could do in a year, got the ball rolling on a lot of things. So I feel really fulfilled that like the biggest accomplishment is accomplishing the platforms in general, yeah.
And do you kind of see those accomplishments kind of coming into effect on campus?
Yeah, definitely. In the campus, but also internally in ASI, just our different prerogative on things or different perspective on things, and just being a more inclusive organization and really kind of crossing the norm on a lot of things than what we used to. We used to be a very traditional organization, just doing the same thing year after year after year just to get through. But now we are really, like I said, like changing it up and really focusing on different outreach opportunities to students, focusing on becoming a more inclusive organization and really making sure that students resonate with ASI and feel connected to us.
So then how has the student and the student government relationship changed under your administration?
Yeah. Within student government, I think the student leaders now feel a higher responsibility of social justice on campus. I feel that they not only feel that responsibility, but are aware of what's going on campus. Throughout the year, we had several different ally trainings, including part 1 of the undocumented student ally training and the veterans ally training. We also had an inclusive leadership ally training, and it just really helped those students understand that there are issues that happen at Cal Poly where we are in no way perfect, and that different groups of students have a different Cal Poly experience. So they've really kind of opened their eyes a little bit, which helped them represent students better in the long run.
Okay, and then I guess, what do you hope for Riley Nielsen to continue under what you have done this past year?
Yeah, I hope Riley does what she promised students that she would do in April, this past election cycle. I hope that she really gives it her all and understands how imperative and just how much influence you have on campus as ASI president, and takes that and creates positive change on campus. I know she will do a great job. There's no question about that. She is very qualified, and she will not let the students down. I know she won't let them down, so I wish her the best.
All right, and so I guess, what's the next step for you? Like, what are you going to do after this?
That is a good question. I am going to kind of recharge a little bit. I'll be working on my family's walnut operation during the summer full-time, just driving tractors and not talking to people. I'm so stoked. And then I'll be starting back at Cal Poly in the fall, getting my master's in agricultural education and my credential in agricultural education. So 1 more year of Cal Poly. Can't get rid of me that easy, but it'll be nice to like just be a student and just focus on school and just be a normal student.
Well, I mean, I guess being ASI president, you must have made a lot of memories.
Yeah.
So, I guess, what is your favorite memory, either between Armstrong, student body, chancellor even? Oh
my gosh. My favorite memory, I'll never forget actually, I've had a lot of great memories of President Armstrong and Chancellor and other administrators on campus, but there was a student who came up to me back in fall quarter and was talking to me about, he heard me speak somewhere, and I can't even remember where, and he was really just touched by what I had to say, and he was going through something at the time, and it really made an impact in his life, and it was kind of like a lollipop moment, if you've ever seen that TED Talk, and he's like, that was my lollipop moment, like, you really helped me through something, and like, because I was in ASI president giving some speech somewhere, something I said really resonated with that student, and I feel like I know that I made an impact in at least one student's life, and so that is by far the best memory that I'll take away. Yeah, it's a small one, but it meant a lot to that student. So.
Yeah, well, it's awesome. And then I guess a little harder question. Is there anything in your administration that you wish you could have done?
Oh man, there's quite a few actually. You get to that point where you just run out of time. And by the time you actually figure out kind of what you're doing is beginning of winter quarter. So and you just kind of have so many things you want to do. I would say that one thing that I wish that we had kind of gotten to, I guess, that will still happen, that we may not just have enough time, is really diving into getting the gender neutral bathroom in the University Union. Everything is set to go. We are putting one in the UU, but we just don't know where it's going to go. And so I kind of ran out of time on getting the student input on where would you like it to go. And so I'll probably end up, getting some input, kind of leaving that on to Riley and getting some others incorporated into it so they can really make it come to fruition next year. But that was one that I really wish I would have kind of sealed the deal on this quarter at least, just because when I was a sophomore, the resolution came to the board to have more gender neutral restrooms on campus. So I feel like I've seen the students really start this initiative from the beginning. And I wish I would have been able just to kind of get the bow on top of the gift there, but it won't necessarily happen under my administration, but hopefully it'll happen under Riley's. It will happen eventually, but we just weren't able to say it's going to go here this year. So only regret, yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll get done next year.
Yeah, I think it will. Yeah.
So I guess I want to ask, who's a better president, your brother or you?
Oh. Well, that's the easiest question you've asked me here today. Definitely me, but no, I'm just kidding. My brother did an excellent job as ASI President 20 years ago. You know how old he is. No, 3 years ago, he did a great job. I will say I'm very thankful that he kind of introduced me to ASI and said, hey, you should apply for the board. I think you'd be really good at it. Was in no way pressuring me that I had to be ASI president, but definitely served as a good kind of role model and having someone who understands kind of what I'm going through. Because the only person who knows what the ASI president does is the ASI president. And so he kind of knew certain times of throughout the academic year that are more challenging than others. And he kind of helped me through those and really give me some advice. I may not have listened to it at all. No, I'm just kidding. No, he gave me good advice that I definitely took to heart. And it was nice that someone else understood kind of what it's like to be president.
So then I guess what was challenging about the ASI president and something you didn't realize coming into office that you'd have to do?
That's hard. I think the most challenging thing about being ASI president, to be honest, the whole thing is challenging within itself. It's a lot of time management. It's a lot of balance. I think the most challenging part is trying to be as holistic as possible. So not just focusing on one topic, but focusing on many different topics at once. I'm one that sees an issue, wants to fix it instantly, but then I'll see another issue and it's oh, well, now I have to fix this one and this one. How am I going to balance both? So it's really being level-headed and understanding that it may not be me personally who goes after these different issues, but as long as someone gets it done, that's all that matters. So it's really just a matter of managing the different issues associated with Cal Poly was definitely really difficult.
Yeah, so was that something you wish you knew before going into office?
Yeah, I would say so. Just that you will get students from all aspects of, Cal Poly, of issues, of beliefs, of whatever it may be, that will maybe say something as an issue or allow you to identify something as an issue. But then there's 30 more students in line that also say, oh, well, this is also an issue, this is also an issue. So it's a matter of prioritizing them and really just trying to do as much as you possibly can. But yeah, I would say that's my biggest piece of advice is just, you just got to balance everything that's going on when you're president.
So have you learned that and kind of applied that to your life, kind of learning how to balance certain things as well?
Yeah, I would say so. Back in, I want to say winter quarter, I had just come off fall quarter and I was just never taking a break. And during winter quarter, never taking a break. Then it kind of came into spring, still not taking any breaks, just going every weekend to travel for ASI or going and representing Cal Poly somewhere. And it just created some not a good balance of like priorities in my life. And so it really helps me now apply, now that I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Like apply, like, yes, ASI president is the #1 priority, but you have this thing called class too that you have to go to and do good on, because that's what you're here to do, is get a degree. But there's also friends, there's also family, there's also extracurriculars, there's sorority, there's all these different things that are going on. And so I've really learned to manage that and make sure that at least my mental health was getting its kind of boost every so often and kind of its recharge, and not just going, because I'm not going to be as efficient that way and as successful. So finally realized that. Here we are in June, so it's been real.
Well, will you be involved in ASI next year?
No. Please,
Done.
no. I'm done, not in a bad way, but I've been in ASI for 3 years. And it's been a great 3 years, but there comes a point where it's like I've overstayed my welcome, and it's time to let the next kind of era of student leaders come in and do their thing. I've definitely had a good run in ASI. The organization is a lot different from when I started to now, and there's a lot of people that success should be contributed to. But I'm excited to just kind of be a student that just has to focus on school and doesn't have to worry about Cal Poly burning down and all the issues on campus. So I'm excited to be a little ignorant to like student issues that are going on, just kind of be like, oh, that's happening, like, all right, I'm gonna go do something else now, like that type of thing. And kind of, hey, it's on you now, Riley. It's after I graduate, I'm done. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Riley will do a great job next year.
Yes.
You did a great job this year, and I'd like to
you.
thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely.
And you can always check mustangnews.net for the latest coverage of ASI and anything involving student government as well. And this summer, you can always check mustangnews.net for continuous news coverage here at Cal Poly. For Mustang News, I'm Connor McCarthy. Have a great day.